We now turn our attention to boxing and that fight we had the other day, 26th of August, Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Conor McGregor. Obviously Floyd came out on top with that 10th round TKO. I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on the fight. It was a very entertaining fight. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a great spectacle. It was very interesting. 2 different styles. The poster boy of UFC, MMA, versus the boxing master, the technician, the technical master, the defensive master, Floyd Mayweather, who came into the fight 49-0 as one of the most, or possibly the most successful boxer in the history of the sport, depending on what your opinion is and what your view is. I just thought it was brilliant. The reason I've had to, or I felt the need to say something, is a lot of the reviews I've seen, some have been dismissive of McGregor, saying, oh, he got knocked out. Some are saying, oh, Floyd, just got the job done, never really looked in any trouble. They're basically just making it look like Conor, didn't... I mean, some people are giving Conor credit for his effort, but I think generally, people have not necessarily given him a fair shake. The reason the fight was entertaining was because Conor McGregor had a good go. He had a good go. I mean, he's a fighter. He's never had a professional boxing fight, so we have to define him as an MMA fighter rather than a boxer. And we saw that in there. He was a fighter. He took it to Floyd. He wasn't hiding. He didn't try anything too defensive. His only defence really was maintaining distance, using his jab. He didn't really, his head movement wasn't amazing. But his main thing was actually just fighting. He was looking at Floyd, trying to figure him out. Obviously, there's not going to be a more tricky customer than Floyd Mayweather. But he looked at him, was trying to figure out how he could gain an advantage, how he could, get to Floyd. And he did a couple of times. That uppercut in the first round, counter uppercut, which the commentators made a big deal about. It's a punch we've never seen Floyd take. And, it's just an example of what's possible when you have someone who's not a professional boxer, someone who's a fighter, MMA fighter. I mean, he's a hugely skilled guy, Conor McGregor. Loads of different types of fighting he's skilled in. And we saw that. Floyd is used to fighting boxers who have been trained in jabs and hooks and orthodox boxing shots. Conor has had that as well, but he's also been trained in a lot of different mixed martial arts, combat sports that are totally different to boxing. And that was obvious. So Floyd got the job eventually, but there was many sticky moments for him. He had to concentrate. I think he had to use a lot more of his nous than he thought. A lot of people say there'll be a knockout within 5 rounds. That wasn't the case. 10 rounds. I actually thought at one point it was possible it could go the distance. I think this fight has been so entertaining because of Conor McGregor, not because of Floyd. Floyd was a little more aggressive. And he should be seen to be a bit more offensive against someone who's never had a professional boxer in their life, professional boxing match. He did come on late on. He did get the knockout, the TKO. We give him credit for that. But Conor didn't go out on his back. Conor landed a good few shots. I did like Conor's flow, like his offense, his flurry of shots. I did like the way he looked from the southpaw stance, occasionally switching stances to orthodox. I just thought it was a great spectacle. And when Floyd Mayweather said at the end of the fight that, they put on a show and they delivered what the fans wanted, I think pretty much they did. And I think a lot of that credit goes to Conor. I mean, Mayweather was never a knockout artist. He was never someone who'd just go in there, pressure fight. He's not a pressure fighter. He's just he's a tricky fighter. He's a defensive fighter. He's a tactician. He's a strategist. And that's what got it done in the end. Him coming on from around... rounds 8, 9 and 10 really. Well, no, give him a bit more, maybe 6, 7. He built some pressure up going forward from round 6 till the TKO in round 10. I just think Conor deserves a lot of credit. He's come into a sport where he's not a professional and he's conducted himself incredibly well. And we can't state enough the magnitude of what he's done. I think it's understated. He's got in there the best defensive boxer of all time, arguably the best boxer of all time. From a boxing point of view, from a tactician point of view. And he's not looked completely out of place. It wasn't a joke. Some people are trying to paint it as, it was a joke. He got cleaned out. There's a lot of people referring to MMA directly and trying to criticise MMA. Oh, MMA is rubbish. The best in MMA coming. It's nonsense. Because as we know, if we put Floyd Mayweather in in MMA. We'll see how difficult it is to have your first professional outing in a discipline that you're not grounded in as a professional. Let's put Floyd in a cage with Conor McGregor and see what's happened. There's no way it's going to reach a 10th round. There's no way it's going to reach a 6th round or a 5th round or a 4th round. He's gonna go in the first round pretty much, I would have thought. It'd be very interesting. I wish they'd do that one. But I think the common consensus would be, in Conor McGregor's world, in an MMA fight, he would just clean Floyd out. I would say Floyd showed a good chin. He did take a few clean shots. But the fact that we had to see Floyd's chin suggests that Conor did a bit better than maybe we were expecting. We shouldn't be seeing Floyd's chin. Floyd fighting some of the best. I mean, he's beaten, is it 24 world champion boxers? In those fights, when you look at highlights reels where Floyd was in trouble, some people on YouTube have made highlight reels of shots Floyd has taken. There ain't much on there, They show Shane Mosley when he got rocked. Shane Mosley got to him. Maidana got to him a couple of times, straightened his legs, sat him down on his stool. Floyd had to take a seat after a heavy shot from Maidana. And there's a few others, but, they're not of note. Floyd never really looked in any huge trouble. I think Conor's done as good as anyone else in terms of that, in terms of landing clean shots. I mean, there was a thought process or a theory that said that he'd have trouble landing at all. That wasn't the case. He got the shots away. So I just want to give credit to Conor. Obviously, Floyd was professional. Floyd did what was expected. He won, in the 10th round. Fair play. But it's just, I think par for the course would have been, a knockout around round 7. So he didn't make par, in my view, with a golfing analogy there. Probably got round with a bogey, something like that there, in a golfing sense. I mean, it wasn't amazing, and I just think people have got a little bit carried away. And I just want to say, Conor, he's made that fight, he's made it entertaining. He's been the aggressor, and so he deserves a lot of credit. Should there be a rematch? Don't know about that. It was a knockout at the end of the day. Will McGregor look to fight Malignaggi? It will depend how much money is at stake. If they can make that work financially, then they'll have a look at it. Dana White seemed to be saying he's not looking at boxing now, he's looking at the UFC. Wants to get back on track with that. But if the money is right, you know how it is. Money makes things move, particularly in boxing world. So it's a possibility. So that's my take on it. Hope you enjoyed the fight. Any comments you have regarding what I've said or regarding your opinion about the fight, please put them in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.